All right, guys, how's it going? My name's Alan Murphy. I'm No Switch Fitness assistant coach, and I'm proud to bring to you this video series that we've been working on for a little while, been waiting to launch. I call it Posing Potential. So this is gonna be part one of a multi-part series. The purpose of these videos on YouTube is to build a framework and lay a foundation for people in their posing, so that when you come work with us or you come work with somebody else as a posing coach, we don't have to take the time and use the money that you paid us to work on these, basic poses and maybe some mobility and some other stuff like that. So the time you get with us, you get more bang for your buck, because you just get to spend, you've already mastered the basics, essentially, built a good foundation, so now you're spending time doing stuff like transitions, critiquing, just minor nuances to individual poses, specific to your structure and stuff like that. It just gets you a lot further. So like I said, I'm super excited to launch this. And we're gonna cover a few things throughout the duration of this video, right? First of all, I called it Posing Potential because everyone has potential to be a phenomenal poser. You just kind of don't know it yet, all right? What you're gonna see in these videos and what I'm gonna highlight are gonna be little tips and tricks to help you, like I said, build a good foundation in your posing, so that when you go to work with somebody, the framework's already laid. It's already a good framework. We can build on it from there. It's like building a skyscraper, right? If you have a shitty foundation, you're gonna have to tear it down and rebuild a good foundation anyway. So you might as well start fresh, start from square one, use these videos to your advantage, and learn, and hopefully you take away some things from this. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, guys. There's gonna be tons of these videos coming out. You're gonna wanna catch every single one of them, because it's gonna help you build this incredible foundation for you as a competitive bodybuilder. And just hopefully change the way you think and conceptualize and create posing. So, no Switch Fitness, Twisted Seal and Sex Appeal. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next video. What's up, guys? Welcome back to part two of our Posing Potential series. I'm your host, of course, Alan Murphy, No Switch Fitness assistant coach. And this segment, this video, is going to be all focused on posing mobility. So a lot of times when guys come to me and they want to work with me for posing, one of the first questions I ask is, how's your ground game? And of course, the response I always get is, what's a ground game? All right, when I talk about ground game, I'm talking about your ability to transition and nail poses on the ground, as well as transition from the ground to standing, or vice versa. All right, so we're gonna go through several mobility drills here that are gonna help you open up some problem areas like hips, shoulder external rotation, scapular mobility and stuff like that. But we're gonna start first, just like we pose, from the bottom up. So we're gonna start mobility from the bottom up. So this first pose that we're gonna do, a lot of No Switch Fitness athletes are probably intimately familiar with a lot of these mobility protocols, because we prescribe a lot of them in the plans that we give to clients. But this first drill is gonna focus on hip mobility, and there's gonna be like 5 or 6 of these exercises that I'm gonna do that are specifically focused to hip mobility, which is a common weak point in ground posing, all right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start here in a squat, and we're just gonna drive our knees, drive our elbows into our knees and focus on external rotation, internal rotation, all right? You're just gonna do that back and forth. That's gonna help open up your hips, get everything nice and open, all right? So just like this, pushing out, letting them come back in, pushing out, letting them come back in. That's the first drill. Next, we're gonna do a side lateral transition, which is gonna help you nail shots when you're transitioning from one side of the ground to the other. This one, you kinda wanna start off easy, because a lot of people have really tight adductors. But what you're gonna do is get into a really wide squat stance, all right? Drop down to one side, and then while staying as low as you possibly can, transition back and forth from one side to the other. So I can feel, again, my adductors are really tight right now. I've been doing a lot of sitting. So this is something that you wanna start very slow, very gradually, all right? That's gonna be our second drill. Now, a lot of times, I'll do maybe 2 or 3 rounds of these different mobility drills to get the result that I want. And this is gonna be, I do these drills every time right before I pose, all right? So sometimes I do them on specific days like that I work out, but most of the time, every time before I pose, I'm gonna do these specific drills. All right, so the third one that we have, I'm gonna need a pad for this because the artificial turf just tears up my knees. So it's gonna be a lunge, a forward lunge, and you're gonna focus on stretching the hip flexor in this one. All right, so what you're gonna do is basically sit in the bottom of a lunge position. You're gonna squeeze your glutes and stretch your arm overhead. That's gonna help you get a deeper stretch in your hip flexor as you drive forward, all right? And I'm gonna do these somewhat in a pulsating manner. I don't wanna do a whole lot of static stretching as a warm-up for posing. I will do a little bit, but most of the time, poses are very dynamic, right? Transitions are very dynamic. So I wanna replicate that and integrate it in my mobility drills. So again, I'm squeezing the glutes, driving forward, my hips, arm overhead to get a little bit of deeper stretch. I'll do right side, then left side again. Back and forth, back and forth. Oh, and it's nice. It opens everything up in here really well. Get you a nice deep stretch. The one static hamstring, or the one static stretch that I will do is gonna be a hamstring stretch. And I do this mainly so I can do my splits. If a lot of you follow me on Instagram, you know and you've seen me do a front split in some of my posing shots. It looks really cool. I'd like to keep it, you know, as much as I can as I grow size and continue to grow into my division. So this is just gonna be a simple, one leg in front of the other, come down, nice slow deep stretch in the hamstring here. Very controlled, very methodical, all right, nothing crazy. Again, the purpose of this isn't really to be super dynamic, it's just to stretch the hamstring out, get some blood flowing in. I do those pretty extensively. Again, before I mainly do splits. If I'm not doing my splits, I typically won't do my static hamstring stretches. All right, and the last pose that I have, or the last mobility exercise that I have, is gonna be basically the same as a dynamic lunge, but it's gonna be for dorsiflexion of the foot. So I'm gonna assume the same dynamic lunge position. Instead of worrying about squeezing the glutes, I'm just very slowly and gently going to drive this knee over this toe and stretch the back portion of my heel here, trying to get as much range as I possibly can with each one, you know, getting a little further each time. That's one way you can do this. Another great way to increase dorsiflexion in your ankle is to get on a calf raise. Load it up with a weight that you would normally use on a calf raise and just go down and assume a deep stretch and hold it for several seconds. And then, you know, take a break and just basically like static loading, right? So, or a weighted loading stretch. All right, that's another really good one for dorsiflexion. Now, that covers the majority of the hip mobility exercises for posing. Now we're gonna get into some of the more upper body movements. Next, we have an exercise. It's one of my personal favorites. It's a newer one to me. And it's gonna help you open up your scapula. The benefit of this is, of course, you know, be able to open up your lats properly, get everything moving back there, be able to get into a back double, front double. There's a lot of benefits for opening up your scapula. It's very underrated. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna take a medicine ball here. This one's you know, just your regular big medicine ball. You're gonna wrap around as much as you can. Sort of go into a position of spinal flexion. And you're gonna just breathe deeply, all right? When you breathe deeply, you're breathing through the back of your shoulder blades here, all right? So breathe in deep as you hug the medicine ball as tight as you can. All right, hold it for, I don't know, 5-10 seconds, then let it go. Draw in another breath, another breath, another breath. And what you're doing is, as you're hugging the medicine ball, you're trying to get further and further on it. So your shoulder blades can come around more and more and more as you go. And getting that deep breath in is gonna help draw them forward more and open everything up for you. Okay guys, and lastly, for our mobility work, we're gonna do something that works our torso mobility, which is gonna be good in transitioning for side shots and the side quarter turns, side chest, side tricep, and stuff like this. This is an area where I see bodybuilders are very deficient in. So all we're gonna do is wrap a band around, right? Squat rack, bench, whatever you want, easy enough. You're gonna assume a lunge position again. I know it's a favorite, like, go-to. It's very stable, all right? And almost kind of like a Pavlov press. If you guys have ever done that, you're just gonna reach out in front of you, grab the band, without moving your lower body, create as much torso rotation as you can on each side. So you're gonna wanna use a lighter band for this for sure. Create as much torso rotation. Again, while trying to maintain proper hip alignment, you may need to engage your glutes to fully lock everything at the bottom and down as you go from side to side. So obviously I'll do left and right, left and right. Again, you wanna use a more lighter band on this. All right, guys, so that was the last exercise for the mobility series. A lot of you guys are watching this and probably going, oh, you know, you showed me some of the practical application of it and everything, and some of the transfer into poses, which is gonna make more sense when you watch part 3 and part 4. But for the sake of your own curiosity, right? The purpose of this mobility stuff is to take you from a static bodybuilder, you know, hitting your shots, very boring in your routine, right? To open up and unlock some more poses for you. So instead of just, you know, oh, I'm all doing my routine all standing, you know, ooh, this is fun. The audience is loving it, you know, not really. You're just a big lunky guy that can't move properly, right? So now we want to get into shit like we're coming down into side shots, transitioning, right? There's that dorsiflexion right here at the ankle. There's the torso rotation. Now we're coming up into a back double, right? That external rotation at the shoulder, come around again, you know. It's movement, guys. Movement is like what paints the picture. So that's it. That concludes the second part of our series. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We got more videos coming at you soon. No off switch, twisted steel, and sex appeal. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned.